Let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks. I believe this team will be a top team in the NFC for this upcoming season, and we saw a glimpse of it last season. Last season with Geno Smith's first year starting with the Seattle Seahawks, and it was a major success. He was a revelation last year. 30 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, and the Seattle Seahawks found a way to make the NFL playoffs. They did go one and done when they lost against the San Francisco 49ers in the opening round, but it showed a lot of good things from this young team. They have a lot of good young pieces on the offensive line, and they also went to free agency and in the NFL draft. They added a lot of good offensive pieces and some much needed defensive help. So let's talk about it. Offensively last year is where this team made their money, and it was majority of their success of where it came from. And that is extremely rare for a Pete Carroll team. You know it had to hurt him on the inside to see Geno Smith go out there and lead the way while the defense struggled majority of the season. But the offense had Geno Smith starting out, being the star of the show, and the offensive line took a major step up. When you look at these two tackles that they have in Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas, both of those guys are extremely good, and I expect for them to be franchise tackles long term. Charles Cross was extremely good last season. He's a very good pass protector and a very good run blocker as well. Same with Abraham Lucas. They did have their struggles at times against guys like Nick Bosa, but that is expected because they are still so young. But you also look at the other pieces on this offense and the wide receiving room. DK Metcalf was extremely good, 1,050 receiving yards. And then you also had Tyler Lockett, who was just Mr. Consistent with this team. And you're adding in Jackson Smith and Njigba, the wide receiver from the Ohio State University. I expect for all these guys to eat in this system. DK Metcalf, you can't double team him because Tyler Lockett will give you problems. And you can't double team or put roll coverage towards Tyler Lockett because now when you look at Jackson Smith and Njigba in the slot, he will give you a lot of problems. And if you give him one-on-one opportunities, he has proven in college that he's one of the best route runners to come out of Ohio State. Is going to give Geno Smith a lot of ways to kill you offensively. And you still have a strong run game with guys like Kenneth Walker III, who was extremely good last season, one of the best young running backs in the game. And Zach Charbonnet from UCLA is the type of running back that you want alongside Kenneth Walker III. For the simple fact that you can have a thunder and lightning back there to where you can save some carries off Kenneth Walker III, and late in the fourth quarter, both of these guys can both come in and kill you with the different skill sets that they have. So offensively, I expect for them to be even better than what they were last season. You're giving Geno Smith another year, another full offseason with this offense, and you're giving him more weapons around him. So the offense should be better and should take another step up. And their offense last season was extremely good. Now, defensively, they need to make a lot of moves and a lot of adjustments on the field. But they've done that in the draft and they've done that in free agency. Let's start off with the secondary. Tariq Woolen, his rookie season last season was extremely good. Proved that he is one of the best young corners in the game. And you have good pieces around him in the secondary. When you talk about having Quandre Diggs, who is a very good free safety in the NFL, who is a very good ball hawk. Jamal Adams needs to be able to stay healthy at the strong safety position. They traded a plethora of first-round picks for him a couple of seasons ago. And he has been good for the Seattle Seahawks when he can stay on the field. The problem is the injuries that he's dealt with. Now, last season, he missed majority of the season dealing with a quad injury. But if he can stay healthy, I expect for their defense to take a step up, especially in the run defense department. They could not stop the run last season, and Jamal Adams will help out with that. He can play some sub-coverage linebacker for you. He can come in and be that strong in-box safety that this team desperately needs, and he will come in and help cover the tight end as well. And he can also bring pressure off the edge. He's an ultra playmaker at the safety position. He just has to be able to stay on the field. When he is on the field, his presence is felt, and I feel like if he was able to just stay healthy for the majority of the season, it would have also helped out Jordan Brooks as well. And speaking of Jordan Brooks, he's going to miss majority of this season. Towards ACL last season, but he was a tackle machine for the team. But you're bringing back Bobby Wagner, who has spent majority of his career with the Seattle Seahawks. He's a fan favorite who is still playing at a high level late in his career. He may not be the same Bobby Wagner he was a couple years ago, but I expect for him to have a better season with the Seahawks than he did with the Los Angeles Rams last season. It was a Rams team that was extremely bad. The defense was on the field a lot, and he had to make up a lot of the injuries that the Rams are dealing with defensively. He comes in over with the Seahawks again in a familiar system with guys around him that know Pete Carroll. I expect for him to go back into the groove of things like how he was a couple years ago with the Seattle Seahawks. And you still have good pieces on the defensive line, such as Uchenna Nwosu and Darrell Taylor. Uchenna Nwosu had a similar story to Geno Smith last year, a breakout player, 9.5 sacks, and also caused some forced fumbles as well. He is a very good pass rusher. And Darrell Taylor also had 9.5 sacks as well. So you have two guys that can come off the edge and generate a lot of pressure. Now, can they generate pressure when they need it the most? That was one of the biggest talking points with the Seahawks defense last season. Even though both of these guys did have high sack production, when they went against the top offensive lines, they struggled to go and get that pass rush. I expect for them to be able to be in better situations with Pete Carroll so they can scheme around some of those better offenses and better offensive lines in the NFL. And you add in Devin Witherspoon with Tariq Woolen in the secondary that they drafted in the first round, the cornerback from Illinois, extremely physical, extremely good against the run, and can come up and tackle as well. We're looking at a revamped Seattle Seahawks defense that should be better than what it was last season, and this team in general should be better than what they were last season as well. And they did add Devin Bush, who has been a good linebacker at times, just very inconsistent from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ever since he tore his ACL, he wasn't the same linebacker, so maybe Pete Carroll can develop him to being something, but he's a guy that is afraid of contact at times. But if he can be coached up by Pete Carroll and can be used correctly by Pete Carroll, look out for him to be a breakout player on this team as well. But I look at the Seattle Seahawks team as a whole. I expect for Geno Smith to take another jump. I expect for this offense to be even more deadly with these weapons, and I definitely expect the defense to be better, especially if Pete Carroll's calling the plays once again, and also with these young players around Pete Carroll. But let me know in the comment section below, am I overhyping the Seattle Seahawks? And when you look at this division, the Los Angeles Rams are still there with the veterans that they have, but they're lacking depth right now, and it seems like they're rebounding from that Super Bowl win a couple years ago. The Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray's going to miss majority of the season, and it just seems like that team is basically still in the rebuilding phase. And the San Francisco 49ers are still there, but it's a huge question mark as who the quarterback is going to be. So let me know in the comment section below how you feel about the Seattle Seahawks. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.